All right, we're recording. Hey, what's up, Mentorship Masters? It's me, Knolly Williams. I'm super excited to be back with you again. Remember, last week we weren't together because last week we had our live event. That's right, we had a live event in Austin, Texas. Some of you guys were there at the live event. But this week is really going to be exciting. We are back at mindset. Okay. Developing that millionaire mindset. Raise your hand if you want that millionaire mindset. All right. Okay. I see you. All right. I see you guys. I'm so excited that so many of you are here on what is really an off day. This is a day before we normally do this. But I'm actually in Florida. Josie and I are in Florida this week. We are at the Campbell's house. Seth Campbell, Flaviani Campbell. Flaviani is one of our mentorship masters. And so we are hanging out in Orlando this week. And by the way, tomorrow I'm going to be on a plane to Puerto Rico. That's why I decided to go ahead and do this roundtable with you guys today because tomorrow, woo, we'll be on that plane, baby. We're going to be celebrating Josie's 60th birthday. That's right. Josie turned 60 this week. So we're going to be having fun. We're going to be out doing that, having fun with that. So I see a lot more of you coming into the room. Thank you so much for being here. And let's go ahead and kick things off. By the way, post in the chat if you have any questions or you have anything that you want to share with me. I'm in a different space, a different room, so I'm kind of just getting my bearings. I just set up everything, and we're off to the races. Um, I also want to. Oh, by the way, we might have a few distractions here and there, but that's okay because I'm. My buddy has graciously given me his office for the hour, so I thank him for that. So what I want to do here, I'm going to share my screen because I want to jump right into what we're going to be learning today. I see Brett is in the house. What's up, Brett? Let me see who else is in the house. We got Cynthia in the house. We got Dolo in the house. We've got Rebecca, Jermaine. I see some new masters in the room. We got Josie in the house. Cindy. What's up? Tanika's in the house. What's up? All right. I love you guys. I'm so excited that we're all together. So what I'm going to do, let me share my screen and let me just double check one thing. Okay, cool. Um, all right, you guys can see my screen good. And then I'm going to go straight to, uh, let me make sure I'm on the right one here. So by the way, look at this slide deck. Isn't this pretty? I want to show you guys the slide deck that we're working from. This is the whole slide deck all about mindset. Okay. So we're going to start right here. Remember last time we what we talked about last time when I was with you guys is we talked all about mindset, and that was part one. Remember, we're studying the 8 pillars. There are 8 pillars that are going to lead to your success and 4 bodies. And I've created, you're going to love this. I've created a 1 year curriculum. That's right. You heard me right. A 1 year curriculum for the Mentorship Masters. It's exclusive for Mentorship Masters. That means no one else is going to get this material except you guys. But it's a 1 year course. And what I did was, last time we were together, I shared with you guys how I made my first $1 million by the time I was 29 years old. In fact, that year I made $2 million, and I shared with you guys how I did that. And it has long been my endeavor for years and years to, if I had a group that I could get together and share with you guys how I was able to make my first million, my second million, my third million, and many million cents, how was I able to do that? And I came up with a curriculum that actually takes a year to teach. Okay. Don't worry. Success, it doesn't have to happen overnight, guys. I know you're like, now I need that now money. I need money right now. Don't worry about that. We're going to get the now money. But what I want you to have amalgamated is after a year of hanging out with me, you're going to know everything that I know, and you're not going to need me anymore. Okay, you're going to be like, man, we don't need that guy anymore. You're going to know everything that I know, and you're going to be able to have success for the rest of your life. Okay, we call this permanent prosperity. It's not just success for now, success for tomorrow, or success in the past. It's permanent prosperity. When you look at the wealthiest people in the world, what would happen? Just think about this for a minute. What would happen if you took all of their wealth away today? The wealthiest people in the world. I see some more people jumping in the room. The wealthiest people, what would happen? They would have it all back, right? Within a short amount of time. And I want every single one of you, we can all be in that category, and we will with this material. So, this is spiritual business mastery. Now, spiritual business mastery is 8 components. It starts with mindset. Then it's not just mindset, right? We've got to be doing the right things. We can't just be thinking the right stuff. We've got to take action. And don't just take action. You know what Uncle Nolly teaches you, take massive action. Okay, not just action, but massive action. So let me close this a little bit so we can see this better. So it starts with mindset, then it gets into activities. Those are the specific things that you should be doing, okay, in order to achieve the high level of success that you want. Then it gets into people, systems, and tools. And that's something I learned from Gary Keller, a blast from the past, PST, we call it PST, baby, people, systems, and tools. And that's leverage. That's how we're going to get it done. So people is who will do it. Systems is what they will do it with. And then tools is what they will do it with. And systems is how they will do it. Okay. So people, systems, and tools. Then we get into money. Okay. Who taught you what you currently know about money? Who gave you the money mindset that you currently have? Most people learned about money from their parents, mom and dad. Well, guess what? If mom and dad didn't have the kind of money that you want or didn't have the kind of goals that you set for yourself, then maybe it's time to have a different teacher, right, about money. So we're going to get into money. We're going to also jump into accountability because everyone has to be able, don't get afraid of the word. All accountability is the ability to give an account. That's it. That's all it means, okay? The ability to give an account. And without accountability, you will not be as successful as you could possibly be. No athlete, no famous person, no celebrity has ever had the level of success that they could have without accountability, without a coach, without a mentor. Okay. Then we're going to get into training. And of course, we're going to cap that off with the 4 bodies. Every single one of you listening to me right now has 4 bodies. You have a spiritual body, you have a mental body, you have a physical body, and you have an emotional body. Thank you. So you have 4 bodies. So when you look at that body of knowledge, that's 12 different components that you're going to be mastering, and it's going to take 12 months to do it. Don't worry about it. Okay. Success takes time, but it lasts for the rest of your life. All right, so let's get into our agenda for today. So first, we're going to talk about the millionaire mindset training. That's the first thing we're going to do. Then I'm going to open it up for your questions, and then we're going to have special announcements. Now, you guys remember, I like to teach. We've been on for about 10 minutes here, and Uncle Nolly likes to inspire you for a little bit at the beginning, right? But I like to teach for about 20, 25 minutes. Then I want to turn it over to you because what's more important than me just spouting off a lot of information is me answering the questions that you have. Not just questions about the material that we cover today, but also any questions that you have in general. Maybe there's some new masters in the house. You guys got some questions on to get started. Doesn't matter. Uncle Nolly's there for you. And then we're going to cover some special announcements, and then we're done. Right? We'll come back and do this again next week. By the way, real quick, for those of you that were not at our live event, I mean, it was hot, okay, but we did record it, or we recorded about 80% of it. And we've got 5 videos. We're going to be making those available to you probably by the end of this week or early next week, okay? That's where I was able to unveil Operation 123. That's a whole new operation that I've got going for the Mentorship Masters for each one of you guys. So I'll be getting that material out to you here in a little bit. Um, Man, this fan is a little cold, Seth. What do we? Y'all know Uncle Nolly gets cold, boy. I got that tropical blood. I have my assistant here. No, just put it a little off a little bit. Yeah. Oh, oscillate's good. Yeah. Boy, I got to tell you, I'm like in the Starship Enterprise here. I'm at my buddy Seth Campbell. Now, those of you that don't know, this guy built the number one Keller Williams office in the world or agency in the world. And he did that for many, many years in a row. So now I'm hanging out at his office. Next week, I'm going to be hanging with Jay Kinder, Mike Reese. Of course, I'll be hanging out with Gene Frederick in Puerto Rico, baby. And I'm actually going to be hanging at Gene Frederick's house for 3 days. So I'm going to be soaking up all kind of knowledge from him and bringing it back to you masters, right? Just imagine right now I'm hanging with another one of my buddies who's made millions and millions of dollars. This guy was offered over $100 million deal. We won't get into that, but I'm hanging out with him. We won't get into the backbone of that. That's on a whole nother thing. But next week, or this week I should say, I'm going to be hanging out with Gene Frederick, who is currently earning over $900,000 a month. $900,000 a month here at EXP. And that's US dollars, baby. Don't forget, yeah, Puerto Rico is in the US. I might be doing a little house shopping. We'll see. We'll see what Uncle Nolly gets into. So, mindset. This is where it all begins. This is where the magic happens, guys, is in the mind. It happens in the mind. And remember, the mind is not just your brain, okay? The mind is a field of consciousness, okay? So and remember there's more than one mind, but and we'll get into all that later. So mindset. Mindset is the first and foremost pillar. It has been well noted that success in any endeavor is 90% mental. If you believe it, you can achieve it. It is important to understand how the mind works, okay? The functionality of the subconscious and conscious mind, the ego, and so forth. Now, what you got to understand is you have a conscious mind and you have a subconscious mind, okay? Now, the conscious mind is responsible for about 12% of your daily activities, okay? Write that down, 12%, and then write down 88%. So 12% of your daily activities are things that you consciously do. And 88% of the things that you do every day are autonomic. Okay. Remember, we are electrical beings. And that breath you just took, or that sigh that you just made, or your body has 80 to 100 trillion cells. Every function of every cell is going on. You're not having to govern that. Okay. That is all governed through the subconscious mind. Now, when one can master the mind and then use it to one's advantage, true and lasting success and progress is possible. And not only that, guys, but it's inevitable that you succeed. Inevitable. So I want to share with you guys a story because I believe that a lot of the lessons that I can give you come through the stories that I've learned in my own life. So what I want to share with you first is the story on how I moved to Texas from Los Angeles. Okay. Now I see a lot of masters jumping on too. You guys are like, man, Uncle Nolly's doing this at a different time, different day. What's up? Has the meeting changed? No, it hasn't. Okay. It's just that Uncle Nolly's on vacation, but I couldn't continue the vacation without a little time with my people, right? So I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. So back in the day, I was living in Los Angeles. You guys know that I moved to uh, Los Angeles area when I was 10 years old. We moved to South Central LA, okay, because my mom was trying to find the cheapest, place that she could find. Here she is with a fresh master's degree, trying to find the cheapest place she could find and live in California, South Central. Now think about it. Back in 1980, South Central was a dangerous place, and that's where I lived, right? So I was living there. I was into a lot of dirt, okay. Like one of my buddies said, man, I wasn't in, because one of my buddies who he's into Jesus just like I am, and he had a friend that used to curse a lot. And every time the guy would curse, he would apologize, like, "Oh man, I'm sorry." The dude was like, "Man, I wasn't raised in the church. I hadn't been in church all my life. I've been around, right? Uncle Nolly's been around." Well, back in the day when I was 18, I was living in Los Angeles and my uncle came down to visit. I was really ready for something better. Okay. Raise your hand if you're ready for something better. Or have you ever been, think back to a time in your life when you were ready for something better? Maybe you even joined Mentorship Masters because you said, man, I'm ready for something better. There's got to be something better. Maybe Nolly has a little something better, right? So I was really ready for something better. And here was the big problem that I had. I didn't have any money. Okay. How many of y'all know what broke feels like? Raise your hand if you know what broke. No, but nobody's ever been broke. If I'm the only one, I got to tell you, I tried broke. I didn't like it. Okay, I tried it, at this time I was broke. I didn't have any money, and so a lot of times my students come to me and say, "Nolly, but I don't have any money." As if money is the great answer to all problems. Okay, now man, I do get it that money can be a quick solver for a lot of things, but it's not the only solver, right? We're going to see that. So that was my big problem. And I felt completely vulnerable. And finally, I decided to surrender to God. I just said, look, God, whatever you want, you can have. I'm tired of fighting. Have you ever been to a point where you just tired of being tired? That's the point I was at. I left home when I was 16 years old. Why? Because I didn't want anybody telling me what to do. Okay. And I told my mom the worst thing you can tell a mother. I told her I don't need a mother anymore. That's exactly what I told her. And I left, 16 years old, and I was in the land of anything goes. Okay, I was living with a bunch of buddies. We were all teenagers, and we were living in the 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 uh, the lady that owned the house. She was on crack cocaine. I mean, this was low, guys. That's a long time since then, but I just got to tell you the story is exactly how it happened. So it so happened that I was really homeless. Now I wouldn't have called myself homeless back then, but I was homeless. I didn't have a place to really live. Like the Son of Man had no place to lay his head. And so what happened was I was at my buddy's house, and I was hanging out. And the last thing I had was my car. I was sleeping in my car. I would stay with my friends from one friend to another. And I was at my friend's house, and I was upstairs in the apartment, and all the kids in the apartment complex knew me, right? Because there's something about kids, like kids are kind of drawn to me, and so all the kids knew me, and they called me Rubber Dub. That was my affectionate name that they knew me by. Don't I see you laughing, but that was what people knew. They called me Rubber Dub, and so I heard this loud screech, a loud crash, and I was like, "What was that?" Sounded like an explosion. And so I didn't bother to go out and see because I was hanging out, and so all the kids ran upstairs. They said, Rub it up, your car. I said, what's wrong with my car? So I ran downstairs, and there was my car pinned up against another car. Now I had parked along the street, okay, and this drunk driver, okay, he was in a Cadillac or something, and I had this old hoopty, and he had ran into the back of my vehicle, and it looked like a V. Like my vehicle was up off the ground just like his was, but the he had pushed the back end of my vehicle all the way up into almost into the driver's seat. That's how badly damaged my car was. It was done. It was totaled. Okay. So here it was about a week after I surrendered everything to God, and then my car is gone. So I have no place to live. Now I got no place to sleep. And I'm like, okay, God, this how you gonna do me, huh? I turn everything over to you, and now everything's worse. How many times have you ever turned everything over to God and it got worse? You're like, oh man, this is not what I didn't have this in mind. All right. So what happened was my uncle came down just a few weeks later, and he visited. And at this time, I had nothing left. He said, "Boy, you ought to come to Texas." I said, "Man, I'm not moving to Texas." Here I would now look at me now. I'm all the way, but back then I was an LA boy. So finally, I said, "You know what? I'll visit Texas, but I'm never moving to Texas." You ever made a promise like that? Man, I'll do that. I've had even some people tell me, man, I'll listen to Uncle Nolly. I'll read his books. I'll watch his videos, but I'm never joining EXP. I've had them tell me that. Okay. And then I watch them on board. Okay. So it happens like that. So have you ever had a situation where you said, man, I'm never doing this, but next thing you know, you found yourself doing it? Well, guess what? I came out to Texas with an overnight bag. Okay. And here's God's honest truth. I never left. I went to Texas with a duffel bag because I wanted an excuse to come back home. I never went back to Los Angeles. I just fell in love with what God had there. But I want to tell you real quick about an incident that happened when I first got to Texas. Real quick, we'll share this. I got real sick. Okay. Got real sick, and the doctor said my tonsils needed to come out. So that's what I did. I had my tonsils removed, and everything was cool. I was eating ice cream, doing what the doctor said, And I woke up in the middle of the night and I couldn't breathe. I was being suffocated. I was being drowned. Okay. And what was it? Well, I felt like a warm sensation in my throat. Now, this might be a little too much for some people. Okay. I'm just warning you ahead of time. But I felt this warm sensation in my throat, and I couldn't breathe. And what I realized, I woke up in the middle of the night with this, so I'm disoriented. I'm like, and I'm being choked to death. And what I realized was that the sutures that the doctor put in the back of my throat, in the tonsil area, had come undone, and blood was gushing down my throat. Now I know this sounds gross, okay, but I'm just telling you like it happened. Okay, blood was gushing down my throat, and it was in such an area, because the doctor removed my adenoids as well. It was such an area where I could not spit the blood out. It was just rushing down my throat, and I couldn't take a breath. I couldn't breathe. So I started beating on my uncle's door. I'm dying, uncle, I'm dying. Help me, help me. And I was going, guys. And it was too late to call an ambulance. Too late. There's no way an ambulance would have come there in time. I was fading. So my uncle, he sat me down. He said, "Son, breathe, breathe." He got me into a rhythm of breath, and he said, I'm gonna do something with you, and I don't want you to ever tell anybody." Well, he didn't tell me this at the time, but he said, "I'm gonna." He basically put me down, and this was all happening in slow motion. He said, "Now here's what I want you to do," and he led me through a visualization. Now this is weird, guys. Uncle Nolly, back then it was just little kid Nolly, right? I was dying, and this he wants to sit me down and lead me through a visualization. You mean we're going to have one of those moments while But he said, "You got to do this if you want to save your life. You got to do this." I said, "Okay." So I calmed my breath, which slowed down the blood flow. Okay. And he led me through this visualization of visualizing that sort of the blood stopping and becoming a hard ball. He led me through this thing. And so that's exactly what I did. I started visualizing the blood that was gushing down my throat, not allowing me to breathe. Okay. Uh, and I visualized it turning into like a hard ball. And I got to tell you guys, it's creepy. Okay. But that's exactly what happened. Within seconds, that thing coagulated. It became what should have t- needed surgery and doctor's attention. It instantly happened. It became a clot. Okay. And I felt this lump in my throat, felt like a golf ball. I ran downstairs into the toilet, and I, I mean, this is gross, but I spit up what looked like a golf ball sized blood clot. Okay. So through the power of visualization, my life was saved. My life was saved, spared right before my 19th birthday. Okay. And I got to tell you, what I found out right then was that belief was the key to opening up this thing that we call the quantum field. Okay. This little LA kid, my life was rocked. Now, he sat me down. My uncle sat me down right after that. He said, "You can't ever tell anybody what I did for you." Now, here I am telling the masters, I'm telling you guys what happened. He said, "You can't ever tell anybody this, and you can't practice this." Okay. This is a sort of a life or death situation. Now, this is a power that we all have. Okay. But my uncle was afraid of it. Okay. He was afraid of it, but he needed it when he needed to. I mean, he used it when he needed to. So, you know, what I realized then was I knew that if anything, anything, even my life being saved, if I believed it, it could be manifest. So I learned that at 18 years old. You mean I could visualize, and from what I visualized in my mind, I can manifest in reality? Absolutely yes. Okay. Absolutely yes. So what Jesus said was, "Therefore I tell you, whatever you ask in prayer, believe that you have received it and it will be yours." Okay. Now, when you look at that scripture, when you really go back in the original, it's look what he says. Believe that you what? That you have received it. Not not future tense, but that you have received it. Okay, we've got to step into the feeling of our wish fulfilled. We've got to get the feeling of our wish already filled. You say, man, Nolly, I want $1 million. Well, guess what? You should be living right now, today, as if that is already true for you. Okay, you've got to get into the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Okay, so that's what Jesus said. It will be yours. Now, you guys remember this book, one of the books that we study, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Whatever the mind can of man can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Thoughts are things. Okay, write that down. Thoughts are things, and powerful things at that. When mixed with definiteness of purpose and burning desire, it can be translated into riches. I'm here to tell you guys that whatever it is that you desire in this life, okay, you can have it. Who is keeping you from the ultimate greatness that is within you? Who is keeping you from being who you ultimately are? Okay, is it somebody else out there, right? It's you, right? And who is also, so we already know our biggest ally and our biggest enemy is within, okay? The little self and the big self. Now, Earl Nightingale put it this way: you become what you think about most of the time. You become what you think about most of the time. That's Earl Nightingale. Now, how does this apply to you? I shared my own story, but you too have quantum experiences. And I want you to think about right now that those things that you've overcome in life, those quantum experiences that you've had, you too have had quantum experiences, haven't you? So I want all of us to kind of think right now. You need my phone? Okay, go ahead. Okay, we got to check in for our for our flight to Puerto Rico, baby. So I want you to think right now. You too have had those quantum experiences. It may not have been life or death. You may not have had to save your life by visualization, but I have. Okay, and I took that. People have asked me all the time, man, how did you start your first company when you were 19 years old? Okay, how did you actually quit your job and never take a W-2 again at the age of 23? How did you buy a 6,000 square foot home at the age of 26? Okay, on 10 acres. How did you at the age of 29 make $2 million? Or how were you making $150,000 a month at the age of 29 years old? People ask me all that all the time. Well, it's because I learned at 18 years old, when I almost lost my life, that there are things that we can do that go beyond. I mean, they get into the woo woo and the weird, and people can call me that all day. Man, this guy's weird. I'll tell you what, it's manifest a lot of success in my life. Okay. And it works. Okay. And Uncle Nolly has pledged himself to teach you everything that works. I'm not going to bring you anything that doesn't work. I'm going to bring you what works. Okay. So think about it. You too have had quantum experiences, haven't you? You've had times in your life where you can see there's this sort of this unseen hand that's been guiding your steps. Now, what if you could make your entire life one where you played at the quantum level? Think about that for a minute. No feast or famine, all good things. What if your life could be one miracle after another? We all know people that says, "Man, it's like I have a black cloud over me. Everything I do seems to be wrong." You've run across people like that, right? Maybe you've been one of them at one time, okay? But what if your life could be one miracle after another? Every single day you wake up and it's like a miracle. Wait a minute. You mean I'm in Orlando, Florida? You mean I'm sitting at my boy's house and I'm enjoying. I've got a great place to do, my Zoom call with my, it and everything just opens up to you, one thing after another. What if you could be like Rebecca Wooten, right? That she listed a house in a neighborhood. Next thing you know, she made a post. She got four more listings from that one listing, and many of you have told me that as you start to apply this stuff, you're starting to see miracles come from almost seems like nowhere. Okay, where they're coming from the quantum field. Okay, now when this happens for you, all of life becomes easy and fun. All of life becomes. I've heard people say, "Man, life is a struggle. Life is hard." Yes, it is if that's what you choose. I won't dispute that. Man, life is hard. Oh, it's a hard life. Yes, it is. Right? Either way, you're right. Okay. You say it, you think you can, or you think you can't. Either way, you're right. Okay. That's Henry Ford. So, what I want you to write this down, I want you to write this down. I choose to make it fun and easy. I choose to make it fun and easy. I choose to make it fun and easy. And I got to tell you, something I learned early on is if this was really life or death for you, you would already be successful. Okay. When I had to save my life through visualization, I put no judgment on it. And a lot of people put judgment on this. The home I was raised in, they would put a lot of judgment on the stuff I'm teaching you guys, even though it's biblical. Okay. But I don't put any judgment on it. Why? Because I know it works. It's the quantum field is where God lives. Okay. And that's where we want to be. Now, imagination activation. This is the last thing I want to teach you guys. And then I want to open it up for any questions that you have. Write this down. Imagination activation. Okay. A lot of people come to me because they want to know the how, the HOW, and that's good. I love the how. I wrote a 430-page book, 430 pages. Okay. Much more than most people will read. I wrote a 430-page book on the how. Okay. The step by step, 46-step process. Step one chapter. Step two, 13 pages, whatever it is. So I'm real big on the how. But the reality is you don't have to worry about the how. Okay. The why is 99%, the how is 1%. Because in reality, how you're going to get to the goals that you have, you don't even know. Okay. That's why life is a fun and exciting journey. And we can practice what we call imagination activation. Now, begin. What I want you guys to consider is to begin by spending every single morning activating the desires of your heart. Okay. You've got desires in your heart. Okay, maybe you have a dream board, maybe you've got goals, maybe you've got desires, and maybe some of you guys are like me. When I was 25 years old, I had already achieved every single desire and goal that I had. So I was like, what's the point? So then I had to make new goals and desires, and guess what? I reached all those. Then I made new ones. Okay, so imagination activation is this practice where you go into that quiet place every single morning and you start to consider the desires of your heart and you start to attract and draw those toward you. Okay. Just like a magnet, you start to draw them toward you. Okay. And then you practice imagination activation throughout the day. So little times throughout the day, you start to visualize that thing, that goal, that dream, that aspiration that you have, and you begin to start to manifest it toward you. Okay. You start to get that burning desire within you for the thing that you can have or the thing that you desire. Okay. That's imagination activation. Very, very, very powerful. And this is something that I'm going to continue to bring to you thematically throughout our training together. Okay. Imagination activation. Now, I want to share with you some resources, and then I'm going to open it up for any questions you guys have. 4 resources. Take a screenshot of this. First resource is Your Wish is Your Command. Okay. That's by Kevin Trudeau. Powerful series. It's about 11-hour series. It's an audio series, and we have this in the Mentorship Masters portal. So go into the book of the month, and you'll see Your Wish is Your Command. I think it's the third or fourth one there. The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Dr. Joseph Murphy. That's another powerful one that I want you guys to read. Okay, you can get it on Audible, but make sure some of you guys have read it twice. That's good. Feel Free to Prosper. That's Marilyn Janae. That's the third one. Feel Free to Prosper. And Ask and It Is Given by Esther Hicks. Ask and It Is Given by Esther Hicks. Okay, and of course, just read the words in red in the Bible, the words of Jesus. It's all quantum physics. Okay, this is the realm where God lives. This is where the magic really happens. And what I want you to think about, the last thing I want to show you is just I'm gonna kind of show you guys this real quick, and then we're gonna open it up for questions. So what I want you to imagine, let me change the view. So what I want you to imagine, just imagine this coaster. This is a coaster of Maui, one of my favorite places. But just imagine that this is the sort of the your radar. Okay, every one of you, just write this down. Think about this for a minute. Every single one of you has a radar. Okay, now the radar screen, in the military, they use radar to see, like, just imagine the Navy. The Navy has these radars, and they can see what's coming in, right? But the radar only goes so far. The field of view it's limited. It's a limited field of view. Now, just imagine that you're working off of this radar right here. This is all that you can see. So a lot of times when you guys have issues or problems, you're trying to attack it with what's on your screen. It's like, okay, what are my options? Okay, I got this problem. What can I see that I can do? But what I got to tell you guys is that most of, probably 90% plus of the choices that you have available to you are off the radar. They're not on this. They're not within your field of view. So when you're looking at that radar, you're saying, okay, uh, what can I see? What options do I have? Okay, if you were the military, you say, okay, what ships do we have in our fleet that are nearby? But the ones that are coming, you don't see them yet. And how it works in the quantum field is, as you begin to manifest your desires, the things that you want in this life, okay, you start to manifest them, they start to be attracted to you. Now, when you introduce doubt, okay, these are the two things that will derail you: fear and doubt. Fear and doubt. Write that down: fear and doubt. When you start to introduce fear, or you start to introduce doubt, what happens is that those things that you're calling into your existence, they begin to detract, they begin to repel. Why? Because now you've put yourself on a different energetic vibrational field, right? You put yourself on a different level. And so these things are no longer attractive. It's just like a magnet in reverse polarity. Okay. So they start to repel from you versus, attracting to you. And this is what you see with a person that all of a sudden they got, things are good, things are great. Then they get into fear and doubt. Well, I wonder if this is going to really happen, or I wonder if it's going to really turn out. Then they start to repel. And you have this sort of this push pull thing, right? What you want is, you want always and only good things to constantly be coming into your field. Okay. That's what you want. And so hopefully this has been good. I see the comments here. I see the comments and I'm going to open it up for any questions you guys have. Believe and receive. Rebecca says, wow, God is good. I see a lot of, oh, somebody's saying happy birthday to Josie. Cool. Hope this has been good for you guys so far. Are there any questions that you guys have? I know this is kind of, this is not material that you've learned in most real estate classes. I get that, but I'm committed to your success, period. Okay. Now, any questions that you guys have? Rebecca says, thank you for sharing your story. You're welcome. You're welcome. Kimberly says, preach. Tanika said, this is so good. Thank you, Tanika. I appreciate that. Barbara says, yes, God is good. Okay, somebody's asking, what were those books again? Let me just show you real quick. I'm going to share my screen again so I can show you guys. Um, okay, here we go. So take a screenshot of this. Um, these are the 4 books that go along with mindset. So remember, as we start getting into these different areas, I'm going to introduce you to different resources. So when we get into activities, you're going to have a whole different list of resources. But these are the 4 that I highly recommend for those of you that want to get, if this is new material for you and you want to start like, man, I don't, this stuff from Uncle Nolly is kind of crazy, but some of you guys have really studied this pretty deep, so you already know. But these are the 4 resources that I recommend right here on your screen. Okay, yeah, let me see if I got any other questions. Let's see. Oh, Rebecca says she's on her cell. Oh, okay, so it's not coming up. Let me just, by the way, I mean, you guys can always go back to the video, and we record these, so you can go back and look at that. So don't worry about, but it's Your Wish is Your Command by Kevin Trudeau, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Dr. Joseph Murphy, Feel Free to Prosper by Marilyn Janae, and Asking Is Given by Esther Hicks. Now, you guys know I read about a book a week. So many of you are not that nerdy. So I try to kind of condense it down. Like these are the four books that you want to kind of study if you choose to learn more about how the mind operates and how to and how to use the mind to your advantage, if you will. Um, Cynthia says, "What is the best way to get off the radar answers?" I think that's a great question. What is the best way to get off the radar answers? So in Kevin Trudeau's work, he has this whole section where he talks about the training balance scale. And in the training balance scale, he talks about this whole concept of it's 99% why and then 1% how. And I believe that might be in lesson 4 of Your Wish is Your Command. So I highly recommend, Cynthia, that you go in and really study that because he spends a whole hour just on that one thing, this whole concept of the radar, because most of the stuff is really off of our radar. What you have to understand, guys, is that life is a journey, and it's a journey to be enjoyed, not to be struggled through. See, when God created Adam and Eve, I'm just going to share this with you real quick. When God created Adam and Eve, he put them in the garden. He set up everything for them to enjoy life to the fullest. Okay, that's what he was set up. Okay, now as a result of the fall of man, okay, you go back and read it, he says, by the sweat of your brow, ye shall eat bread. So, what that means is work in and of itself, hard work, labor, the kind of stuff my dad was like, man, you got to work hard, son. All that kind of teaching that's been ingrained within us, that's really not true, by the way. But we've learned those things, and so they become true for us. But in the reality, the way God intended it, when He said it is good, He intended for mankind. See, hard work is a curse. Okay. When he said, by the sweat of your brow, you shall eat bread, that was not a blessing. That was a curse. Okay. And when Christ came to free us from the curse, from the Adamic curse. So we're no longer under the curse. Okay. Guess what? Some of my mentors, they make $1 million a month. Okay. Guys like Ping Jun, Pengjoon, Ping Jun. He's one of my mentors and he makes $1 million a month. You think the guy works hard? He works, okay, but he ain't working hard. Not compared to what a lot of people. You go talk to some of these farmers that have dirt under their fingernails and ask them about how hard he works. The guy sits behind a computer and makes millions. Okay, I was learning about a game that I never heard of because I don't have kids. Uncle Nolly's out of the loop. My buddy here, he's got 4 children, and I learned how out of the loop I am. I live in a bubble. And so I'm learning about this game where the owner of the game is worth billions. I'm like, how many billion? How many billions is that game worth, Seth? 10 billion or something? Yeah, $59 billion for a game. That thing is worth more than Remax. It's worth. It's worth 62 Remaxes, and it's of the whole worldwide. Yeah, Remax. He could buy 69 Remax companies with what, and it's one app, it's one game. Okay, so this whole concept that it has to be hard is just a notion that somebody taught us, but it's not true. Uncle Nolly's here to dispel that. So the way that you see, Cynthia, what's not on the radar is you have to go within. You have to tap into the quantum field. You can only get quantum answers. Have you ever been, like, say, in the shower and you just had an epiphany, like, man, something just occurred to you, or you got an idea? You might say, that was my idea. There ain't no such thing as my idea. Everything lives in the quantum field, guys. Okay. And there are records. We won't get into that in this session, but the Akashic records and there's other records. This is all stuff that God set up. Okay. And there's a body, a field of knowledge. And if you want to tap into that field, you got to get into the quantum space. And you do that by going within. You got to get real quiet. Okay. Like Gary used to teach us, you got to get real small in order to get real big. It's like, man, I want to make $1 million. Well, you better get real small if you want to make $1 million, right? So you have to go within, Cynthia, and that's where the answers are. You basically get into meditation. My practice is 30 minutes in the morning, 20 minutes before bed of just quiet meditation, and I'm listening. I'm not thinking. I mean, the mind is always doing its thinking, right? I mean, the brain is always thinking. But the, I don't want to get too deep in this because of our time limit, but you have to get yourself into a quiet space and start listening. And then you'll start hearing. And here's what I want you to understand, Cynthia. When you commit to a worthy goal, okay, you commit to it. You say, okay, I want to do 2 deals a month, or I want to do 4 deals a month, whatever your number is, whatever your goal is. When you commit to that, okay, the universe, God Almighty, Source, takes note of it and will deliver you what you desire. Okay, now you might have to put in the work, but you'll know what that work is. Remember, doing the right things in the wrong order doesn't get you the results. Okay, so you start to hear and you start to listen and hear when you get into meditation and contemplation. Okay, and you begin to get the answers. Okay, don't be in such a rush to get the how. Don't worry about that because, like, for example, and this is something that Rebecca has experienced. I know because she shared this with me, and many of you have. You go after, you say, okay, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to get listings, but then the listings come from some completely other place. That's how it works. Okay, Scripture says, give expecting nothing in return, and it will come back to you, shaken down, pressed down, overflowing. Now, does it say it will come back to you from the way that you gave it? No, it's just a principle. Okay. When you sow, you will reap. Okay. So yeah, that's how you get it. That's how you tap into the quantum field. That's a great question, actually. Okay. Uh, okay, so Christy says she's driving back from Dallas. She's uh, great information. Barbara says faith. Cynthia says, I hear you. Thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome, Cynthia. Glad that that was helpful. But again, as you get into the 4 books that I recommended, the 4 resources that I recommended, you'll start understanding this at a deeper level than even what I'm explaining here. Okay. So, any other questions that you guys have? Now, you can feel free to ask questions that are off topic. Um, that don't even have anything to do with what we're talking about today. I'm okay with that. Okay. Um, Kimberly says, thank you, Nolly. You're welcome, Kimberly. Thank you. I'm glad you're here. One of our new masters, Kimberly Mitchell. Welcome to the party. Um, let's see. Now, if you just
Hey,
joined
Nolly.
us, yeah, what's up, Rebecca?
When are you going to post the video of the live event?
Of our Austin class?
Yeah, the event I missed.
Yeah, so Rebecca's asking, when am I going to post a video of the event that you guys missed in Austin? Okay. By the way, we got another one coming up in April, and then we got a big one coming up in May. So I'll be announcing that probably next week. But those videos will be posted probably this weekend or early next week. So we did record it, and my video guy Paul, he just finished with the light editing. Not he didn't edit much, but he did some light editing, split the videos up and stuff like that into appropriate segments. They're being uploaded today. I know Chris is doing that, and they'll probably be available by early next week. So yeah, be sure to go back and listen to that content because it's good.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. That's when I released Operation 123, baby. I'm telling you, it's good. You'll love it.
I was working. I'm sorry I missed it. I really wanted to
Yeah, you were
go.
taking listings. From what
Yes,
I
I
hear, you were
was.
taking more listings. Rebecca,
Yep.
let's hear it since I got you here. So let's hear it. So you're actually because I saw a long post from you and I really appreciate that. I wanted to reply with a long post too, but I was on a plane when I was reading it.
I got really
But
emotional and started crying the other day. And I just, yeah.
but but share with us your story because this is and you don't have to go too lengthy with it, but I'm actually going to have you share at the next live meeting that we do. But this stuff is working for you, isn't it?
It is. It is. If you apply it, and I didn't apply everything at first, but I have gone full speed ahead now, and I am just, God is good, Nolly's awesome, and just apply it and it works. I'm just waiting for that vacation.
Yeah, you wait because you're you're really you've been working hard.
I know I have. And I've got, assistant, and I've got, TC, all that. And I just still busy. But I'm
Yeah.
expecting and I'm waiting. So you made that promise, and I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do. And you follow his knowledge system, it works. I got tons of business now.
Amen. Amen.
Yep.
Thank you, Rebecca. Yeah, and this is not to toot my horn because this is all stuff I've learned, guys. I
Right.
have no unique knowledge. This is just an amalgamation. When you bake a cake, I tell you, Flaviani, one of our new masters, and Josie, they're in there. They're making her 60th birthday cake. It's gonna be cute. It's gonna be nice, right? But this is not when you make a cake, you're just taking ingredients that already exist and you're putting them together in a pleasing fashion. And that's what I've done. I've taken a lot of knowledge and I've put it together in this system that we call spiritual business mastery. That's what I'm teaching you guys. It's a 1 year curriculum. And when you put all that together, oh, you got it? Okay, let me see. No, come over this way a little more. See that? Wow, y'all did a
That's
good job.
nice.
Can y'all
Happy
see
birthday,
that? Yeah, they could
Josie.
see.
Yay.
She's not finished, but 60, baby. What's up? Yeah, the right ingredients make the perfect anything. So, and get this, they're actually listening to Uncle Nolly while they're baking cake. I like that. You're getting a lot of happy birthdays. Yeah, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. That's what Rebecca's saying. You don't have to reinvent the wheel, and that's good news. And for a lot of you, I want to say this because I feel like it'll help some of you. For a lot of you, it's like Nolly, it can't happen soon enough. It can't happen soon enough. I need it to happen like today. I need it to happen like now. I want you to think about this for just a minute. A farmer plants, you know, some corn seed, and he's ready to eat corn the next day. And he comes out, he's like, "Where's my corn?" Okay. And he comes out the next day, "Where's my corn?" And he comes out the next day, "Where is my corn?" It doesn't work. Okay. But here's the thing, if the farmer will give it time, and you know what the farmer has to exercise? Faith, because he's got to turn it over to Mother Nature, right? God Almighty. He's got to turn it over. He's got to trust that it's going to rain. He's got to trust that the sun will come out. He's got to trust that the seed is going to do what the seed knows how to do. Once the farmer has planted the seed, his work is done. Okay, let me say it again. Once the farmer has planted the seed, his work is done. He's got it. Now it's in God's hands to create the harvest, and that will come in due season. Okay, sometimes waiting for your miracle is like watching the grass grow. You come out, you just waiting. It hasn't grown, but guess what? You go away for 2 weeks and come back, you'll see it does grow. Okay, so the reality is, you it and by the way, you've placed yourself in a point where you have an immediate need because of the choices that you've made. Okay, now as you start to make new choices, guess what? You're going to come into a place where you're never going to have an immediate need again like that. You don't have to have that in order to exercise faith. Okay, you can have a bank account full of money, you can have a house that's paid off. Okay, you can travel the world, you can do these kind of things and still have the highest level of faith. Okay, you don't need these petty things to exercise faith. Faith can come at higher levels, guys. Okay. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you with someone because I thought it might be helpful. Kimberly Mitchell says, "Happy birthday, Josie. May God bless you many more years." Yeah, we're actually celebrating 29 years of marriage coming up next week as well. So her birthday is the 19th, and our anniversary is the 27th. So we've been married almost half her life. Been married more than half my life, I can tell you that. I'm 51. I got married at the age of 22. So all right. So let me get into the announcements, and then I'm going to go ahead and adjourn. Um, let's get into the announcements here. Let me share my screen. Oh, hold on. Can you guys see my screen? Yeah. Yep. Okay. Good. All right. So real quick, I want to welcome our new masters. I welcome you. I thank you for being here. you know, a lot of times when I teach, I used to be concerned about teaching this kind of material because I was like, man, people are going to be like, what does this have to do with real estate? Like, how is this going to help me reach my goals? But I had to be real with myself and say, you know what? I've got to teach what works. I've got to teach you guys what I know is going to help you achieve success. And that's what I do. So I welcome you, new masters. I want to give a salute to our top producers. We've got, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of you that are at 100% commission. You've already capped, and we've got many people on the uptick of about to cap. Okay, so congratulate, salute you guys. Salute to our ambassadors. Thank you guys for helping us grow. Yes, I mean I've heard it like, man, is all you guys talk about is recruiting? No, it's not all we talk about. But guess what? We need more agents to hear the kind of material that God is enlightening us with here in this class and in these classes. Yes, we need more mentorship masters. We need more, we need to reduce the failure rate. And there's a lot of agents out there, guys, a lot of them that don't get this kind of training. Okay. By the way, this our training will no longer be available on YouTube. Once I started this new series, we released the first of the series. Okay, it's going to be about 50 trainings, but nothing else will be released to YouTube of these full length trainings. We'll probably release a few snippets here and there, but this is going to be exclusive content for Mentorship Masters. So you become an ambassador when you attract your first person into Mentorship Masters. You become one of our ambassadors. By the way, we have chapter presidents. We're going to be rolling that out very soon. I'll be sharing with you guys that. EXP in the news. We had our most profitable quarter ever was the last quarter. So that just continues to be a recurring theme here at EXP. So thank God that we're at a very prosperous company, and we're able to, we have a level playing field. Okay, we have a level playing field here as well. Um, Remember that every single day we've got the daily webinar going on. Okay, and it's mentorshipmasters.live. If you've got somebody that's interested in learning more about Mentorship Masters or EXP, you give them the mentorshipmasters.live link. They can sign up and they can join the web class. Okay, and it's automated, but it starts every, you know, throughout the day, different times, and they can. That's the easiest way to invite someone to learn more about what we're doing here at Mentorship Masters. Mentorshipmasters.live. Now, next week we're going to study part 3. We'll see how next week goes. I'll be in Puerto Rico, so I'm not sure exactly how that schedule is going to go. I am on vacation, but it's hard to go a week without hanging with my masters. And I know we weren't together last week because I was live, and so you know, hey, what is a vacation without you guys? I mean, I love taking you guys on vacation with me. So next week, at some point, we're going to do part 3 of this 3-part mindset series. And we're going to go deeper into how to unlock your mind so you can get the things that you desire, okay, in this life. So, with that, I'm going to see if there's anything else. I see a lot of thank yous, and I appreciate you guys as well. God bless you. Thank you so much for being with me on this off day. Let me change it to gallery view so I can see everybody. Okay, I can see y'all. Okay, that's it. God bless. I love you guys. Thanks for hanging with me.
Bye,
Adios.
Nolly. Thank you.
Bye.
Have a good day.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Nolly. Enjoy your vacation.
Thank you.